Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing some historic best of one, and it's gonna be with a wonderful ramp deck that combines a lot of my favorite aspects of ramp when it comes to Magic Arena. And those things are gonna be a mixture of things we've done in the past, which is Leyline of Abundance mana generating decks, and also Growing Rites of Itlimoc with Wakeroot Elemental. So let's talk about the deck, shall we? We have a lot of mana dorks in our deck, all of these to be exact, in addition to some mana generators like Growing Rites of Itlimoc, but we'll get to that in a second. We've got Gildagoose, Llanowar Elves, Leafkin Druid, and Paradise Druid. All of these are going to produce 1 mana. We're going to combine that with Leyline of Abundance, a 4 mana enchantment which can start in-game if you have it in your opening hand. And it says whenever you tap a creature for mana, you add an additional green to your mana pool. So that means that Gildagoose, Llanowar Elves, Leafkin Druid, and Paradise Druid all produce 2 mana. And we've got 8 1-mana mana dorks. 8 Birds of Paradise, as it were. So we can really easily get a turn 3 Nissa. So that's one way that we can win. Those lands will then tap for 2. All of our forests tap for 2 mana with Nissa. We only have 4 non-forests in the deck with Hinterland Harbour, and the reason we're only running these Hinterland Harbours is for Kinnan, who also acts as an additional 2 copies of Leyline of Abundance. It says whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, that's something specific you got to keep in mind, because we do have some land creatures with Nissa. It's only going to make these guys tap for additional mana. Whatever they tap for, you add 1 mana of that type, that permanent produced. We can also use the activated ability on Kinnan, so that's one of our ways to pay off and win the game. 5 and Simic to look at the top 5 cards of your library and put a non-human creature card from among them onto the battlefield. So if you look at our stats, you'll see we only have 2 humans in our deck, which is Kinnan. So Kinnan can't search for itself, but it can search for everything else. It can search for Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, a 10 mana 10/10 that says whenever you cast this spell, though if we're searching with Kinnan, we're not casting it, exile 2 target permanents. So we can kill our opponent's lands, we can kill our opponent's 2 biggest threats, anything like that. When Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger attacks, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of their library. So if our opponent can block this, it's not really going to matter too much because Ulamog is inevitable. He is going to eventually exile your opponent's entire deck, and they're going to deck themselves, short of them having like Thassa's Oracle in hand or a Jace. Anything of that sort can kind of counteract Ulamog's attacks, I guess, but I don't see that happening too often, to be honest. We've also got Wakeroot Elemental, which I said we'd come back to. A 6 mana 5/5, which has a very important activate ability. For 5 green, we get to untap a land you control, and it becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste, and it is still a land. So if we move on back to the Growing Rites of Itlimoc, a 3 mana legendary enchantment that enters the battlefield, allows us to look at the top 4 cards of our library and reveal a creature card from among them, put it into our hand. So either our payoff cards, Wakeroot Elemental and Ulamog, or a mana dork. If we've got 4 creatures on board, we transform Growing Rites of Itlimoc into Itlimoc, Cradle of the Sun. For those who've been playing Magic for a while, you'll notice that this is Gaia's Cradle. It either adds green mana, which actually makes it a little bit better than Gaia's Cradle, green mana on its own, or you can actually tap it to add green for each creature you control. So by default, it's going to add 4 mana because it has to flip over. It can add just 1 if your opponent wipes your board, which is one of the ways that we can lose in this game. But if it's producing enough mana, that's going to be great. So, how do we go and win the game with Wakeroot Elemental? If Growing Rites of Itlimoc taps as a land for 5 mana, that means we can tap it for 5, and we can untap it with Wakeroot Elemental, making it a creature. And then Itlimoc taps for each creature we control. We've just added Itlimoc onto the board as a creature, which means it taps for 6 mana. So if we tap Itlimoc for 6 mana and untap it for 5 mana, we have an infinite mana loop. So there's many things we can do with that once we've got our infinite mana. If we've got a Leyline of Abundance in play, then there's the activated ability on the bottom of this card, 6 and 2 green, to add a +1/+1 counter to each creature we control. So essentially we can have infinitely huge creatures. That's one way we can go about it. We can also animate every single land on the battlefield into a creature as well, meaning that Growing Rights produces infinite +1. So that's mostly irrelevant, but having every single creature become a every single land, become a 5/5 elemental creature with haste can actually swing the game in our favor. If we've got more blockers, or more attackers than our opponent has blockers, there's a good chance we have lethal there. We can also turn Nissa's lands into 5/5s. They actually start baseline 0/0 with 3 counters, so Wakeroot Elemental can turn Nissa's lands into 8/8s, which is nice, 8/8s with Vigilance. We can also go with Finale of Devastation as well. So if Finale of Devastation is 10 or more, creatures you control get +X/+X and haste until the end of the turn. This also allows us to search out a creature as well, so we can go and grab an Ulamog, another Wakeroot if we really want to. It can be literally anything. It's going to be a 10/10 minimum. It's going to be an infinite, technically, with haste. So we can go for like a Gilded Goose if we need the flying to go over the top of our opponent's creatures. Something like that. All an option. But yeah, ideally we're going to be either going with a turn 3 Nissa and winning by super ramp. We're going to be getting an Ulamog down as early as turn 4. I believe we can... I think that's as early as we can get an Ulamog down. Or we go infinite and turn all of our lands into 5/5s with Wakeroot Elemental, produce infinitely huge creatures with Leyline of Abundance. There's so many avenues we can take with this deck. It's just an absolute barrel of laughs to play, and I highly recommend checking it out. This deck, in the past, Leyline of Abundance decks that I've built have not been particularly competitive. They do die to board wipes and removal, but with Historic the way that it is now, it's kind of a racing kind of format or a non-interactive format. So it's either all about Ember Cleaving your opponent and killing them super quickly, or it's essentially just pulling off your own combo before your opponent pulls off theirs. There's not too much interaction in this format right now. You're going to lose to the interactive decks, but honestly, I've not really come across any of them. They're just trying to get their own game plan done without having to care about yours, and that's exactly what we're going to do, and we can do it a little bit more efficiently, I would say. So, in theory, we're going to prey on the non-interactive decks and lose to the interactive decks. So, yeah, without further ado, let's show off what this deck can do. If you do enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It helps out the channel a great deal. And yeah, let's get to it. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Okay then, we're in, and ooh, we do have a nice ramp hand. It's a little slow at the start though, we don't get our 1-drop, but Leyline of Abundance and Leafkin Druid into a Nissa also getting that additional buff. Should mean an early Ulamog, as long as we get the right draws here. We just really want mana dorks, to be honest, and for our opponent to leave them alone, which should hopefully be a thing. There's a lot of very uninteractive decks going on right now that'll just allow you to do pretty much whatever you want to do. And our opponent playing a forest also very likely means that they are the uninteractive deck that I speak of. Alright, so we'll go Leafkin Druid so we can block the Llanowar Elves. Because if I played Llanowar Elves, they probably know that I'm not planning on blocking. Alright, so it's going to be Gruul aggro. Yeah, okay. So we have a turn 3 Nissa if we get ourselves a land drop, which is going to be pretty good. Just got to race the... Ugh. I guess I'm going Growing Rights then. Everything else kind of doesn't set up a nice line of play here. Get Kinnan. Is Kinnan what I want? It's another Leyline of Abundance type effect. Guess I might as well take him. Take him. Here we go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana at the moment. So we could play What are we gonna do here? Why not get in with Llanowar Elves? Ooh. Could play Nissa, who shakes the world. I think that's probably what I want to do. It's a shame we don't have any of our 5-colour dorks to get Kinnan down. I don't think that's the end of the world. The Rekindling Phoenix is highly irritating. Okay, well... kind of just want a mana dork down, so let's go Forest. And I could go Leyline of Abundance here. That would give me, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it would give me Ulamog mana for next turn without Nissa. And Nissa will gain me 7 life, it seems. So if we're not just dead to an Embercleave, we can Ulamog and potentially just win. Gruul Guildgate. Someone's on a budget. That's a Golter. Oh my god. You don't see that one every day. Just coming at my face. That's probably the correct line, in all honesty. Alright, so tap a forest, untap a forest. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, gets rid of Golter, because Trample, and Rekindling Phoenix, because Flying. And then we got you down. And yeah, I think we're just going to have to get in for 6. We can activate Leyline of Abundance, but it would tap down our stuff. So I'd rather wait on that one. Domri, Chaos Bringer. So it's not like the net decky side of things. Let's see what their creature count looks like. Top 4, they get to reveal 2. They got Paradise Druid and Ronus. Ooh. Not too bad, unfortunately for them. Alright. Got a little ahead of myself on that Leyline of Abundance. Should wait until post-combat just in case I accidentally tap down my forest, but didn't end up being an issue. Kinnan is real good. So we get to go Kinnan. Let's tap the Cradle. Untap the Breeding Pool. Is there actually much reason for me to do this? I guess if I got a Wakeroot Elemental, I go Infinite. So now we go Wakeroot Elemental, unlock the Itlamok. Itlamok taps for like 10 odd mana. We untap it for 5. Yeah, now we've got infinite damage. All my lands are also creatures. Boop-a-doop-doo. The more creatures, the better. We want to untap Itlamok. And yeah, we've got infinite mana now, which means infinite Leyline of Abundance activations. Can even turn my little breeding pool ones, my ones that I've activated with Nissa, we can turn those into 5/5s, which actually gives them a little bit of a buff with the counters. Casual 50 mana. So we activate, activate, activate. Keep it going. And, I mean, that kind of looks like a good amount of lethal to me. We'll go one more time, because my floating mana doesn't quite add up. That'll do. Alright, send it all our opponent. They got 2 blockers. They block here, and yeah, they take more than enough. Sweet! 65. I wonder if I could have made it 69. These are the real questions we should be asking ourselves. Yeah, pretty much went well. Nice hit with the Kinnan. Wasn't necessary. I think we already had more than enough to keep this game going, though, with our vigilant tokens and whatnot. But, yeah, sweet. Alrighty then, we're in, and for some unknown reason, I'm getting really lucky with my opening hands. This one's pretty great. It's got the Leyline of Abundance for our mana dorks. I guess it could be slightly better, in that this Leafkin Druid or Paradise Druid could be a Gilded Goose or Llanowar Elves, which would be my turn 1 play. But, you know, honestly, can't really complain too much about this situation, because it looks like we're going to get a really nice early Nissa anyway. So, Leyline of Abundance comes down. And we'll see what our matchup looks like. Stitcher Supplier in Orzhov. Esper. Okay. Not entirely sure what this could be, but Tonebound Lich says Reanimator to me. I've never really seen it in any other kind of deck. Yeah, there's lots of self-mill going on here. I'm sure there's an Agent of Treachery in there somewhere, and we're not going to have fun when that comes down. Alright, well, we'll go with the Paradise Druid. We actually have Nissa next turn, which is pretty funny. There's Tonebound Lich. Okay. Draws and discards a Dream Trawler. So yeah, we wanna get down our Nissa nice and early. Opponent's got a Death Toucher, so I'm not gonna be swinging into that. We'll just go with the Leafkin Druid for max mana output, I guess. Yep, she can take all that. Stonebound trigger only off players. Yeah, I thought it was. Atris, okay. Ooh. That's not good for us. I guess we're doing that. Usually you take the 2-pile card hand. If I put the other one into the graveyard, you just Blood for Bones to the back, so I'd rather them not know that there is a Blood for Bones in that pile. Yep, they take it anyway. Okay. Well, with that in mind, knowing I'm going to lose my most prized possession, let's do 2 untap. Leyline of Abundance. Growing Rights off of a Paradise Druid. Wakeroot Elemental. Have we just gone infinite? I think we just went infinite. So this adds plenty. Yeah, I think we've got infinite now. Weirdly enough. So we're going to pass, and it's not going to matter that our opponent agents. Huh. Alright. So, Blood for Bones on Stitcher Supplier. Yeah. And there's a reason for the white mana in their deck. So, Agent takes. We're going to have to do all this in response to the Agent trigger. Gonna go after Nissa. Alright, so for each creature we control, Itlamok will add mana. Now Itlamok is a creature. It adds 8 mana because of the Leyline of Abundance. And yeah, we got infinite mana now. I'm gonna do this all the way to victory. We're gonna make sure that we've got a full board of nonsense, so that our opponent's agent doesn't matter. So tap and untap. Every time we do this, we generate mana. There we go. Honestly, the Nissa side of things is completely irrelevant at this point, because this Itlamok's going to produce enough mana without Nissa on the forest, because you can maybe tell that I haven't tapped a forest yet. So I really don't care about the Nissa. I'm just doing it because if I do want to actually tap this forest, then it's there as an option. So now I'm going to untap that. I'm going to untap my Breeding Pool, and I'm going to untap my Hinterland Harbor. Now these are both creatures. Itlamok actually produces a little bit more mana, so we can do this a lot faster. There we go. When our opponent wants to leave, they can. Because they are dead, I'm pretty certain. Not done the math, but I don't see them attacking anytime soon with enough power to actually beat me here. Considering one unblocked creature is infinite damage. Alright, so we tap that. Untap this. Untap... Oh, pump this. That's now an 8/8. Untap this. Activate this. And we've demonstrated infinite damage. And I have more blockers, more attackers than they have blockers. So only one of these with their infinite damage needs to actually get through. So I guess I could just leave it there. And our opponent can tell me what they want to do with their time. They want to make a land, a creature. And that appears to be their entire turn. Okay, so let's just keep going until we've got a single creature that deals lethal damage on its own. Yep, just have to get one of these lands, or the smallest creature up to 19, and then everything that goes through is going to be lethal. But it's like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So actually I only have to do the smallest one up to like 9. Or 10. Should I say, which is only 3 activations, which is real quick. So screw you, Agent of Treachery. Pretty sweet deck otherwise. It's just a shame that Agent is their best target. Could have gone with Ulamog. Everyone else seems to do Ulamog. But, you know, still wouldn't have won them the game, funnily enough. We had a better hand. Alright, moving on. Okay, we're in, and I would say this hand is not particularly good. It has no guaranteed turn 3 Nissa, which is the first thing we'd want to be casting here. Yeah, just no Leyline, no Growing Rights makes this a little bit awkward, to be honest. So I'm going to take the mull on that. And we got Growing Rights, and we got Leyline, and we got turn 1, turn 2 mana dock. This is honestly pretty damn sweet. I believe we want to actually go with the Ulamog here. It's a weird one though, because we're gonna go turn 1 Llanowar Elves, turn 2 Paradise Druid. Somewhere along the lines of Growing Rights is gonna come and potentially actually just grab as an Ulamog. It's a weird one, because most of the time you want your payoff card, but I think Growing Rights will find us the payoff card just easily enough. It could be either a Wakeroot Elemental or an Ulamog. My odds are pretty high on it being either one, to be honest. So let's just go for the docks first, set up the extra mana. We need 4 creatures to flip the Growing Rights. And for it to truly matter, at that point, we also need a Wakeroot Elemental or an Ulamog payoff, which this can technically find, but ideally, I guess it's going to be finding as a mana dock. So hit our opponent in their beautiful face. Let's give it a little tap. There we go. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Opponent is playing something that's not going to be able to keep up with what we're doing. Saprolings. Okay. So we're going to untap this forest, which actually adds 3 mana. Gonna get in with the forest, because we can get through the Thallid. And then Growing Rights is hopefully going to find us a creature we can play. And now Growing Rights is a flipped Gaia's Cradle. Alright. That adds 4 mana now. Even more if I turn it into a creature. Journey to Eternity is not a card I expected to see. Fascinating. Okay. Well, our opponent's using that as somewhat of a deterrent. I'm feeling undeterred, though. So I'm just going to shock myself because I can. Send in the breeding pool. Activate the ley line. And yeah, our opponent realizes that this is effectively just an extra land drop by the time they lose. And scoops it up. Sweet. Okay then, we're in, and yep, this hand's perfectly keepable. It's got a really nice, aggressive line straight to a Nissa. Can't really complain about a line like that. So, yeah, turn 1, Gilded Goose. Fountain of Renewal. Interesting. So it's an artifact deck. Opponent's got some Ornithopters and whatnot in their hand. Don't know if they can beat the Nissa that we've got coming. Literally. Next turn. Demir. What on earth? Oh, it's a Stone Coil Serpent. Okay. So, not a Ornithopter, but a slightly different variation of the same thing. We are going to untap a Forest. Gonna get in for 3. And then I'll drop a Leafkin Druid down since it still blocks the Serpent. And even if it dies, it's not going to kill Nissa. And even if Nissa dies, we've got to spare Nissa. So now all we really want to see is... Growing Rites of Itlamok would be, I guess, okay. It's probably going to find us everything else that we might want to find. But I'm pretty sure we can cast Ulamog now. It's 2, 4, 6, 8... Yeah, we've got Ulamog if we want it. So let's tap our lands for a Growing Rites. Wakeroot Elemental. That, I believe, is infinite damage on creatures. Let's go Breeding Pool. Yeah, I think our opponent realizes that we've got enough there. So, shock in the Breeding Pool, play the Wakeroot Elemental, untap a land. So we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures. This flips over, generating 6. This takes 5 to untap it, so it becomes a 7th creature. So that taps for 7. Tap for 7. Untap 5. Tap for 7. Untap with 5. And we turn all of our lands into 5/5s and 8/8s. And we should hopefully have lethal on our opponent, short of them having a board wipe, I guess, which I guess is theoretically possible. I don't know if Ritual of Soot finds its way into a Stone Coil Serpent deck, but I've not really seen what our opponent's deck is, and I don't understand it, so who knows? Anything's possible, I guess. Anyway, next game. Okay, we're in, and this hand, I believe, is just completely unkeepable. Our opponent's playing Obosh, which never says anything but aggro, so... yeah, it's just too slow. We don't do anything till turn 2, and then we've got Growing Rites, which won't flip, 2 Ulamogs, which we won't cast, so easy mull here. And easy keep, I would say. So we've got the Leyline of Abundance with both Gilded Goose and Paradise Druid, plus the Growing Rites to find us the other Ulamog once we've put that one to the bottom. I think this one's a lot faster, a lot better. We'll see what happens, though. So Obosh the Prey Piercer is a 5-mana 3/5. That only allows them to have odds in their deck. It's going to be a Gruul deck then. Okay. So they can only have 1, 3s, and 5s, essentially, in the deck, and that's probably all they will have. I'm going to play the Paradise Druid here, and pass the turn. Going to go for the ramp first. So Growing Rites really needs to find me an actual payoff card, so either Ulamog or Wakeroot Elemental. Otherwise we might flail a little bit, unfortunately. But we'll see. Seems like we've got enough time. Never mind. So we got 5 mana now. Oh, Nissa. Nissa's real good. So, yeah, let's go Nissa. Untap a Forest. Attack for 3. And then we have Growing Rites off of the land, because it's producing 2 because of Nissa, and 3 because of the Leyline of Abundance. And there's an Ulamog. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need a Forest, and we have Ulamog. Would that be a turn 4 Ulamog? If they don't have an answer here? I think they're doing the math right now to see if we do indeed have it. Yeah, because it was turn 3 Nissa, so it must be turn 4 Ulamog if we have the Forest. Opponent putting down some blocks. Once Ulamog's down, though, I think he's staying down. Meh on that one. Alright, so float. Unfloat. Actually... No, I was going to say it because I didn't count the leyline mana on the untap there, but... Still the case that we need a little more than we have. Split Leafkin Druid. And pass the turn. Now we've got Ulamog mana. It's in effect now. So this is producing 4 mana. Yep. So Ulamog comes down. I think Ulamog just takes out their lands, to be honest. I guess it entirely depends on what they play there, because they look like... Oh, they can't be an Embercleave deck because of Obosh. Yeah, it's a weird one, actually. They play Obosh, and then we're forced to block. Not sure this game's necessarily over. It's pretty damn over. But I'm not sure it's entirely over. But, yeah, opponent seems to think so, and that's fine by me. Let's move on. Okay, we are in, and this hand has no mana dorks in it, unfortunately. I think if you trade the Wakeroot Elemental and the Ulamog for mana dorks, this hand is really good. Our opponent's on a Yorion deck, which sounds extremely spiky these days. It probably is. Ooh, hello. Sounds interesting. I think this is a keep. It's just what we throw back is actually the question here. It might be Wakeroot Elemental. We do have the Growing Rights with the Elemental combo, but I almost think like Nissa's probably better. Yeah, let's put back Wakeroot. Can always find something with Growing Rights as well. Oh my god, that's nutty. There we go. Give me that fruit and nut. Gilded Goose. So we got turn 1 Goose, turn 2 Druid, turn 3 Nissa. Nissa can produce the lands, which flips the Growing Rights. And the Growing Rights should hopefully find us a Wakeroot Elemental or an Ulamog. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. So it looks like our opponent's... Oh my god. Opponent's maybe on some sort of Scape Shift list, maybe? That would be my guess. I'm going to untap the forest. I'm going to put a Leafkin Druid into play, which is producing 2 mana now, because we got 4 creatures. Gilded Goose not producing any mana. However, it technically is, because we've got this Growing Rights. And that's all that really matters. Okay, lots of gates. Not sure what we're seeing from our opponent, but I do know that it's not good enough. What do we get rid of here? Let's see. Just kill our opponent's lands. Yeah, just kill the Selesnya Guildgate and the Gruul Guildgate. Cut them off of a little bit more green. I guess they've got the Dryad, so it doesn't really matter, but pinching them that far behind on mana and then doing it again the turn after seems pretty good to me. And then Paradise Druids... Nah, it's only producing 1 mana. I was going to say we could Gilded Goose up for some food tokens there, but yeah, we just got the nut draw. Seems pretty consistent to get the nut draw, though, to be fair. So maybe this is just the draw. Who knows? Okay, we're in, and I do quite like this hand, although Wakeroot Elemental's not the payoff that I'd ideally want at the moment. I'm still going to keep it, though. Having a leyline is really powerful, for obvious reasons, and we got turn 2 Kinnan as well. So there might be something that we can do here. Godless Shrine. Alright, so we're just going to slap down a Kinnan, and I think we're going to send a message. There we go. Good luck, opponent. You're gonna need it now the goose is attacked. Honk. Honk, I say. It's Esper Hero. There's gonna be a lot of removal from our opponent for sure. Well, we'll go Leafkin Druids and just play a tap land then. Pass the turn. Not going to trade off a hero for a Kinnan. My Kinnan's more important than their hero. But right now we're producing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. No, now we're not. Good old Teferi.
You'll thank me later.
And bounce the Leyline. Guess you can. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference what they bounce. If it's Kinnan, sure. If it's Leyline, sure. It all basically stops me from doing what I want to do anyway. Huh. Well, not entirely, though. It doesn't entirely stop me from doing what I want to do. Let's just go with the Forest. Do we play the Leyline here? I mean, they're going to protect Teferi, I'm pretty sure. I think I'm just going to play a Leyline. I just want it down. I'm not sure that Teferi Plus makes a difference.
Don't worry, I got this.
Oath of Kaya, Kinnan or my Forest? It's got to be Kinnan, right? Kinnan makes all my dorks produce extra mana. And yep, that's fine.
Do not assume I am fragile.
So what do we want here? Would Growing Rights of Itlamok win me the game? I do not know. Alright, tap, untap.
Harness the elements.
So my forests are producing 3. Leafkin Druid is producing 3 as well. What's a full tap out look like? Pretty good, actually. Pretty good. An X10? I guess we could do an X10 finale, right? Search my library and go grab Ulamog. I think that's what we want. Yeah, just grab Ulamog. Hasting 2020. Send it, exile 20 cards. Some meddling mages in there and big Tef. Deputies. Yeah, okay. So if they've got another Tef, they can bounce Ulamog and then he costs... Well, then I can just cast him. And they need, like, Shatter the Sky or Time Wipe or something, I guess. And even then, like, Ulamog sticks around for that. So they can't bounce Ulamog. If they do that, they're going to lose, because I get the cast trigger. And I'm sure they know that. And Forest just gives me extra mana if you bounce that. Gonna go for Kinnan. Sure. Send 2 at Nissa. Absolutely fine. Another Ulamog. Alright. Well, let's tap, untap. I could Ulamog again, and I think I will, because it just kills all their lands, and that's pretty much how they're going to get back into this game. Let's just do it. Cast trigger. So I'm paying 10 mana to kill 2 lands, essentially, which I think is fine. Yeah, just kill these 2 lands here. Can't pinch them on a colour, so... See what you want to do. Got some mana floating for the Gilded Goose. I can exile another 20 cards, which is really ideally what's going to happen here. They'll be at 6 cards, and I don't believe they can win in 6 turns, so... That's good enough as it is. Tyrant's Scorn, sure. Great food token. Honestly, do not mind that. Pinch their mana, keep the non-summoning sick Ulamog. Exile 20 more cards. Leave them with 6. If you want to look at their deck and build it yourself, you absolutely can. It's right here. Some Elspeth Conquers Death, some Meddling Mages, yeah. I don't even think Meddling Mage on Ulamog after a bounce would change much, because I can kin and activate and get Ulamog that way, which is kind of funny. Yeah, just casual Ulamogs. God, I love this Eldrazi man. He is a beautiful, beautiful boy. I absolutely love this card. Alright, let's go for one last game, I think. Alrighty then, on the draw against a Zerda deck. Now, there's only one Zerda deck I know of, and it's kind of Super Frenzy. So I'm going to assume that it's that. I guess it... Is there actually... There's a mono-red Zerda deck as well, though, isn't there? Because Ember Cleave has an equip, which means you can use it. Yeah, so there's 2 decks that I know of. Is this good enough to beat that Ember Cleave list? Oh dear, that's a hard question to answer. We do have a draw, where pretty much I think any Mana Dork would be fine. Since we got the Finale of Devastation, we technically have our payoff card. I'm going to give it a shot, though I'm not entirely confident it's good enough. So Zerda the Dawnwaker. Alright, I officially do not know what this matchup is. I've never seen Zerda lead into a forest before. So this is a mystery. Zerda, essentially, as part of the companion restriction, says that you can only have permanents with activated abilities. So mana abilities and things like +2/+her are all applicable here. I'm just going to lead with the Paradise Druid. Hexproof means that I get to keep it around. And this is where they could play Zerda, meaning that this Weasel Redcap can do 1 mana fire breathing, which is pretty good. +4, +6 actually with the Paradise Druid, just on an attack alone. It's pretty aggressive. Okay, I'm just going to take the 3 here. Yep. That's fine-ish. Fine-ish. Let's go... It's either double Druid, or it's Rites and Druid. I guess it's double Druid. Opens up more mana for next turn. So if I get a creature, Leafkin Druid produces 3. So we need 4 creatures to produce 2, and then the Leyliner produces an extra 1. So Growing Rites will be my 4th creature, hopefully, which I'll be able to cast off the Paradise Druid or the Spare Breeding Pool mana if it's either a Gilded Goose or a Llanowar Elves. And then that'll flip the Growing Rites and allow me to activate Leyline. We'll see. This is going to be real close, though. We can maybe from there finale into Wakeroot Elemental and go infinite. So that creature can't block. I'm not sure if I was planning to block. Okay. Chump damage. Yep. Takes 7. Oh, Ember Cleave. So I was a little concerned that might be the case. That's not good for us at all. That pretty much kills us, I'm almost certain. I needed that 4th creature real bad. Growing Rites, show me the money. I mean... 2, 4. We're just dead, though. What's the equip on this? 3. 1, 2, 3. And then they've got 3, 6. Oh, sorry. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, that's lethal. Wow. Okay. Well, next game. Alrighty then, we're in, and we've got a completely unkeepable hand, so let's just not discuss what we saw there. Oh wow, this is a completely keepable hand. We're going to get rid of a forest, because we got all the mana in the world without it. Turn 1 Llanowar Elves here. So now all we need is our payoff card. We, to a certain extent, already have it with Leyline of Abundance, but it's just not quite the payoff. Ulamog, you know, he's not bad. He's not bad. Alright, so we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's Wakeroot Elemental. Well, we're going to play Wakeroot. And yeah, we're just going to pass the old turn arena. Don't know what our opponent's playing. Some sort of sacrifice deck, I would assume. Okay. Murderous Rider, my Wakeroot Elemental. That is fine. And then pass the turn. Because you cannot get damage in. A Leafkin Druid. That's what we need to unlock this hand, I think. So next turn we've got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's Ulamog. We get rid of Lochthwain and Stronghold. Actually, do I just get rid of... I probably just get rid of the swamps, right? So Stronghold doesn't produce any mana. It's pretty funny. Yeah, this game's really, really over. Alright, so create a food token, because I can, and because I'm probably using the Gilded Goose mana. I'm actually not. Weird. Okay, well. Ulamog, get rid of Swamp, and Swamp. Opponent explodes. Yeah. Unless they've got, like, Eat to Extinction or Vraska's Contempt, Ulamog is going to stick around. I imagine that they won't. They'll certainly never get towards the City's Blessing on the Twilight Prophet, so I won't be losing that life anytime soon. And yeah, it's just a 3-turn Ulamog hit. So what was that, turn 5? I think turn 5 Ulamog. You know, when you can cast this boy half as fast as he's intended to be cast, you're in a good spot. Alright guys, well, that's going to do it for today's episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed. This deck is very good. I would advise playing it in a meta specifically that has very little interaction, which I believe is kind of the meta we're in right now. It's either kill very early or don't interact and just kill everything. There are a few control decks around, obviously. You're not going to realistically win against them. But I guess the Esper Hero list we played up against was a control deck of sorts. It's more of a mid-rangey control list, though. But it does have big Tef and ECDs and whatnot. So those kind of matchups are likely to be a little bit iffy. But it all depends. I mean, a turn 3 Nissa is a turn 3 Nissa, and a turn 4 Ulamog is exactly what it sounds like. So, you know, if you can get those, then those matchups are just not going to be an issue for you at all. And on top of all that, this deck is super fun to play, so I do recommend building this list. It's going to be showing up at in some form or another on the ladder, I would imagine. I don't know how far it would go up, but yeah, it's a good list. I recommend it. But yeah, I also recommend hitting that like button and subscribing as well, because if you enjoyed this content, you're sure as hell going to enjoy the rest of the content I've got to make. But that's just my perspective, after all. Make your own mind up, I guess. Anyway, toodaloo, hope you've all had a good day, and I'll see you all next time for some more Magic Arena. Toorah!